in the 13th inning, makeup starts to wear off.
I was sound asleep when Nunez hit that dribbler.
Nunez shots it to the right side. Ball gets away. Red Sox on top, 2-1.
At the bottom of the 13th, we're the only ones still serving.
Caught by Nunez. He goes into the seat.
What a catch! Bottom of the 13th inning, and Muncy scores to tie it.
That's up the middle. Throw to first is wide. This game is tied.
We ran out of Dodger dogs.
Big Papi want to go home, man. Let's go.
I'm running out of things to play.
His last time up, hit one down the right field line that just went foul. Muncy flies right in the air to left center.
Bottom of the 18th, Max Muncy. It all happened right in front of this lens.
Back at the wall, and it's gone! A walk-off home run to win Game 3 in the 18th. Night. And welcome to the World Series presented by YouTube TV on Fox. It's Game 4 of this World Series. The Boston Red Sox, the Los Angeles Dodgers, with Boston leading 2-1. And now welcome inside the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Joe Buck. That's the Hall of Famer, John Smoltz. It was a late night last night. Contrary to what Kevin said, we did not, no matter how tired or awful we look, sleep in the booth last night. But the game ended at 12:30 this morning. It was a crazy game. All the players used, the pitchers used, the foul balls and all that other stuff, the baseballs. Let's talk about tonight. And if you were on the Dodgers roster, how would you get into your car and drive into the stadium today? What would be your mindset for Game 4?
Well, you realize what you've escaped. In the 13th inning with 2 outs, you were 1 out away from being on elimination, and you got a jolt of energy. And it starts with Rich Hill. Rich Hill knows if he can weather the storm offensively from the Red Sox, that's what he's going to have to do, is provide innings. And this crowd, this home crowd, is going to be a jolt of energy. They're going to be able to provide the lost energy spent in this crowd. They were fantastic last night, so home field really has an advantage.
All right, now on the other side, we talked about it during the game. The Boston Red Sox and Alex Cora, their manager, he went for the throat last night. And using Nathan Eovaldi the way he did, he was absolutely heroic in a losing cause. How would you, if you were on their roster, come to the ballpark today?
Believe it or not, it could be a rallying process for not only the effort that Eovaldi put forth, but the team knows that they just stay the process. They know they're not going to go 0 for 28 their first 4 hitters. They know they're going to score runs, and maybe it's going to be kind of a chaotic game with the pitching staff, but they have believed that they're the best team in this series. They're up 2-1, and they, again, know the process is what they've been doing all year. 108 wins and no fluke.
Yeah, so let's talk more about the Dodgers starter. He just mentioned him, Rich Hill. For more on Rich, let's go down to Tom Verducci.
Well, Joe, the odyssey of Rich Hill, it's a long one. 10 organizations, 16 states, 19 minor league cities. But it's his hometown team, the Red Sox, that helped get him to the World Series. 3 years ago, he was released out of the minors and went home to train with American Legion Post 114 in Milton, Massachusetts. The Red Sox saw him there, signed him. He was in the big leagues 2 months later. Eventually, he signed with the Dodgers. Now, tonight, he will become the oldest Dodger to start a World Series game at the age of 38 since 1956. Now, here's Ken Rosenthal.
Tom, here is all you need to know about David Price as a teammate. Moments after Nathan Eovaldi allowed Max Muncy's walk-off homer last night, Price was the first person waiting for him outside the dugout. He stayed with Eovaldi through his post-game treatment, sat next to him on the team bus, made sure he was by his side the entire night. Earlier, Price had stopped by Alex Cora's office and volunteered to be the opener in tonight's Game 4, this after starting Game 2 and pitching in relief in Game 3. You need not ask. Price is available tonight.
Guys, thank you very much. Just to finish that earlier point, over 330 baseballs used last night. We just saw that great moment in the dugout. Man, we saw just about everything last night. What do we have this evening? We'll find out. Game 4 tonight. TV, watch like a fan. Try it free. Well, what's the weather tonight for game number 4 of this World Series? 74 degrees and clear. Glad you're with us tonight on Fox. Last night, all the statistics, all the numbers. I guess the only numbers that matter, 3-2 in this World Series, and that was the final last night at the end of 7 hours, 20 minutes, and a Dodger win on a Max Muncy home run. So here is Rich Hill, the 38-year-old, who is from Milton, Mass. And he misses up and away, ball 1. Mookie Betts first up. We'll give you the lineup here in a second. Betts, then Benintendi, and then Steve Pearce. The top 3 against the left-hander, Rich Hill. That is on the inside corner, a ball and a strike.
Yeah, for Rich Hill, of course, he'd love to have economy, meaning he'd love to get outs quickly and give some innings for the Dodgers tonight.
Breaking ball is a good one.
But good luck with that with the Red Sox and the way that they approach opposing pitchers. They're not afraid to get deep. They're not afraid to get to 2 strikes. And then they go to work.
Here's the 1-2 to Betts. Good rip. So while Betts waits for a 1-2, for coverage of this game in Spanish, please tune to Fox Deportes. Rich Hill, they said 38, 4th-round pick back in 2002 by the Cubs, came up in 05, and that started a long journey with many stops. That's foul. 3 different times he was with the Red Sox, and he credits his hometown team with really giving him the opportunity to reinvent himself multiple times. At one point he was a reliever, dropping down sidearm. He's been through elbow surgeries. He's now back over the top. Signed a deal with Oakland, was traded to the Dodgers in 2016. They re-upped. He starts his night with a strikeout. And Mookie Betts out number 1. So you know about him. Then Andrew Benintendi, the number 2 hitter, and Steve Pearce is the 3rd place hitter. J.D. Martinez in right field tonight. He started in left field last night. Xander Bogaerts. Eduardo Nunez was a key player in the late innings last night. Then Brock Holt, back-to-back starts. Christian Vasquez and Eduardo Rodriguez is the left-handed starter, batting 9th. Here's Benintendi. Strike 1 on a check swing foul.
Well, both these pitchers have success with their fastball in the upper part of the strike zone. Rich Hill, one of the best since last year, and hitters are only hitting 176 on his fastball on the whole. But when he elevates it, it's even better. So he's going to have 2-pitch mix, fastball, curveball. Every once in a while, he'll change his arm angle, and he'll throw a cutter.
That is in the air to left. Easy for Taylor. 2 out. Well, Tom talked about it before first pitch, and how about a little more with Rich Hill. Born in Boston, attended Milton High School, just over 8 miles from Fenway Park. He spent 2010 through 2012 with the Red Sox organization, went to independent baseball, back with the Boston Red Sox. He was up and down over the years, and then it all clicked in at the end of that time. He went to the Oakland A's, really honed his craft as he fires a fastball at 92 for a strike, traded to the Dodgers. Part of the playoffs in 2016, obviously last year. And he makes his 3rd start of this postseason. A ball and a strike.
Well, one thing he does pretty well, about 80% of the time in the first 3 pitches, he's got 2 strikes on the hitter. So when he works like that and he commands the fastball, that makes that curveball that much more difficult for the hitters.
Ball 2. On deck, J.D. Martinez. At the plate, Steve Pearce. Good curveball there for strike 2.
See, that's the thing. He throws from the third base side of the rubber. He throws that curveball so far out of the box to a right-handed hitter. The right-handed hitter sees it and goes, no way does that come back for a strike. and it's the higher curveball called strike that will give the Red Sox fits. So getting that call on the upper end of the strike zone would be huge.
2-2. Fastball missed, a full count. Last night it was the Dodgers jumping on top with a third-inning home run by Jock Peterson. The game was tied in the 8th and won in the 18th. 3-2 pitch is down and in, a 2-out walk. And if you're a numbers person, here's what we all witnessed at Dodger Stadium last night. 561 pitches, 7 hours, 20 minutes. The foul balls, 46 of 50 available players were used. Strikeouts, the full counts. Take Me Out to the Ball Game was played on the organ and sung twice by those who slugged it out and waited all 18 innings here for Game 3. Here's J.D. Martinez.
These two have hooked up in the past. Another matchup of starters who have not seen the opposing hitters too often. Only a handful of guys, and for the most part against Hill, curveballs have been the pitch of choice. In other words, most of his outs are going to come on curveballs off of Hill.
There's his career against Rich with 1 home run, 5 strikeouts, and a 273 average, 3 for 11. Fooled him there. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Now, once he gets Martinez thinking about the curveball, he can throw a fastball away, try to get him to freeze or swing away, but away would be the optimum choice if he's going to go with that pitch.
Struck him out, and the first half inning is history in Game 4. Good start for Rich Hill. By Bank of America, the official bank of Major League Baseball. And by Chevy. Chevy has earned J.D. Power awards across cars, trucks, and SUVs. Little different look to the Dodger lineup, at least for the World Series. We've seen it before with against the left-hander, David Freese hitting the leadoff spot. He did it during the NLCS. Max Muncy, the hero last night, and Justin Turner in the middle. It's Manny Machado, Cody Bellinger, and Yasiel Puig. And the back end of the lineup, Chris Taylor, Austin Barnes, and the pitcher, Rich Hill. Against a talented left-hander, I'm excited to hear you talk about Eduardo Rodriguez. It is his first start, his 7th game. Good numbers for Rodriguez, who won 13 games, only lost 5 in the regular season.
When 2 great pitchers on his staff call him the best stuff on the staff, and I'm talking about Chris Sale and David Price, that's all you need to know about what he possesses. But the mental challenge for Rodriguez is, does he believe it? Does he believe he's actually possesses that and carries himself on the mound with that attitude?
That splits the outside corner in the count. 1 ball, 1 strike on David Freese, 3 for 7 in this series.
He has such smooth arm action. What I mean is he can get to the outside and inside part of the plate with his fastball. Great changeup, good cutter action, and he'll throw a slider every once in a while.
1-1 pitch. 94-mile-per-hour fastball for strike 2 from the lefty who worked in relief here last night. Got 1 batter in the 5th. Struck out Jock Peterson through 6 pitches and becomes the first pitcher since 1924 to start a World Series game after pitching in relief the previous day. Furpo Marbury of the Washington Senators. Here's the 1-2. A strikeout starts the night. 95 miles per hour from Rodriguez.
And that's the theme to watch tonight for the Dodgers hitters, because what has happened is the top of the zone strike, above it, they've been exposed and swing and missing. Rodriguez, a 110 batting average against on pitches up. And so what their game plan is to try to make sure they can elevate the Dodgers, and the Dodgers are going to have to adjust. They have to be better at swinging up in the zone. Granted, when you're facing 100-mile-an-hour Eovaldi and Kimbrel, easier said than done. But tonight, it should be a little bit better off of Rodriguez.
A great welcome from Max Muncy, who won the game last night with an opposite field home run off Nathan Eovaldi. Hit it into left center field and ended a 7-hour, 20-minute game, the longest in World Series history. By innings and by time. 1 ball, 1 strike, and you talked about it with Dave Roberts before the game. His manager, as you see the list that he joins, the latest World Series walk-off home runs. Alex Gonzalez in the 12th of Game 4 in 03. Shot by Carlton Fisk in Game 6 at Fenway in the 12th in 75. And then last night, Max Muncy sending everybody home. Here's a 1-1. The point that you made to Dave Roberts was that Muncy has looked, even though the numbers aren't great this postseason. You see the average 214. Like he's zeroing in on better pitches to hit and taking better swings.
Yeah, at least from the onset, it was a tough go to this postseason. He had lost command of the strike zone and looked like his eye, which was so good in the regular season, start expanding. He's getting closer. And I think that has to do with the ability to be in there in consecutive games. You know, in that previous series, it was such a roller coaster for these Dodger hitters, in one game, out the next, and never really got the rhythm of their lineup going.
A right ankle sprain by Rodriguez cost him time. But he is here pitching in game number 4 of the World Series, and that's outside. Vasquez liked where Rodriguez delivered it. That's where he wanted it, and Muncy laid off. 2-2.
That's that tight biting cutter, slider, whatever you want to call it. His freedom against left-handers, obviously a better look for Rodriguez.
Freese struck out, and now a full count. We saw plenty of that last night. Max Muncy will dig back in with a 3-2 count. Hard hit right side, backhanded by Pierce to the bag for 2 outs in the first. With Turner coming up. Home plate umpire, Chad Fairchild. These guys, obviously a long night. The point you made is that they don't get to sit down and take a rest during basically 2 full games. As you see their faces, Jeff Nelson at first, Jim Reynolds at second, Field and Culbreth at third, Kerwin Danley in left, and there's Ted Barrett, who worked the plate last night in that marathon game. Here's Turner. Alex Cora, the manager of the Red Sox, not concerned with where his pitching staff stands after 3 games in this World Series. Not worried about Rodriguez getting this start after working in relief last night. Feels like his bullpen has plenty of rest in it. Obviously with Eovaldi not on that list of guys with rest, but he feels like he can cover this game no problem. With his team up 2-1.
Yeah, I don't know about the no problem part, but I'm sure he can find a way with the assets he still has available. And I thought he said something interesting to us yesterday. He said that scoreboard out there is not for the fans. It's for how to manage the game. It's basically telling you what to do. And that scoreboard yesterday might have played a few tricks on him because of the opportunities that he had in managing that game to a potential win. It would have been worth every inning they played. But because it went the way it did, it's going to be an expensive loss if this series goes long.
2-2. And that was the conversation when asked about who were his big influences as managers over his career for Alex Cora, and that piece of advice came from Sandy Alomar Sr., who managed Alex during winter ball. 2-2 pitch. Fouled straight back. Good stuff shown by Eduardo Rodriguez here in the first inning. Fastball mid-90s. Good break to his slider.
Everything about his windup and delivery is smooth, and the ball just explodes out of his hand. And that's why his teammates just rave about the potential that Eduardo Rodriguez has.
2-2. Full count.
Found out this morning that he was starting. Which is interesting. Less time to get anxious, I guess.
Let him get a good night's sleep and then tell him when he wakes up. That's what Alex Cora did, and now his 3-2 pitch to Turner. A 2-out walk. And here's more on Rodriguez from Ken Rosenthal.
Well, Joe, it's so interesting Rodriguez is starting this game, considering that he has frustrated the Red Sox on multiple occasions in recent weeks. AL East clincher against the Yankees, he walked 7 in 3 2/3 innings, couldn't maintain his tempo, had poor body language. Also had a disappointing relief appearance against the Yankees the final weekend of the season. And then in Game 2 of the division series, he told the media he failed to cover first base in part because he had slipped on the mound, when in fact he had not slipped at all. Alex Cora told him, you need to be more accountable, and he'll certainly need to be accountable tonight.
The left-hander started in the Orioles organization, traded to Boston in 2014, and here he is. And here's Machado. He takes a strike.
You know, in that 18-inning game, it was amazing how many innings and just trends happened almost exactly the same. Here in the first, 2-out walk for each starter to start their frame.
And what comes to mind is the 13th inning last night when a leadoff walk eventually plated a run for Boston. Bottom of the inning, leadoff walk to Muncy. He scored on an error by Kinsler to tie the game that lasted into the 18th. 1-1. 2-1.
These two have hooked up quite a bit, as you can imagine. Machado with Baltimore. There's a consistent theme that Rodriguez likes to do. He loves to get that fastball looking out and then change up away. And then eventually, as the game goes on, he'll try to throw inside to Machado.
That's a strike. And it's 2-2. There are the numbers for Machado against Rodriguez. A couple of doubles, but just 6 for 33. Two guys who started in the Orioles organization squaring off in a 2-2 pitch. Foul straight back. Machado's only hit last night came in the 6th inning with 2 out when he banged one off the left field wall, only to end up at first after not running down the line. Apologized for it after the fact. The 2-2. Flied into right center. Betts to his left. Instead, it's Martinez to his right. And after one in Game 4, Boston and Los Angeles, no score. Second inning of Game 4 for the Red Sox. It's Bogaerts, Nunez, and Holt against Rich Hill. Fourteenth year in the big leagues for Hill. On again, off again, and first pitch swinging. Bogaerts hits it a mile high in the air. on the infield, and David Freese is there for the Dodgers. 1 out. Eduardo Nunez last night didn't enter the ball game until late. He was all over the place and all over the ground. Every time you looked up, if he was at the plate or in the field, he was flopping around. Made this catch. And that one. And eventually these fans who were, I think, all tired were tired of watching it. Started booing him. Here is a strike from Rich Hill. A cute moment between Chris Woodward, the third base coach for the Dodgers, and Eduardo Nunez happened a moment ago. We'll play it for you here in the second. Good curveball. Strike 2.
Well, if Rich Hill gets a chance to keep getting ahead with fastballs, he's going to throw fits to some of these Red Sox hitters, because that pitch right there, even if you're guessing it's coming, difficult to do much with it.
Struck him out. 91 from Hill, and strikeout number 3. And here's Chris Woodward a moment ago.
Get some ice?
I got a shot.
Huh?
I got a shot.
You sit in the tub?
Shot.
Told Nunez, I'm like, did you get some ice last night? He said he's falling all over the field.
He hit the ground a few times.
Oh my God. Over and over again.
He hit the ground. He ended up in the seats. He was all over the place, but it was an important piece of the puzzle for the Red Sox as they just came up 1 run short. There's ball 1 outside to Brock Holt. Holt got the start and now gets another despite a lefty on the mound for LA. That misses 2-0.
Where Rich Hill can get a lot of outs will be similar to what Bogaerts did. He didn't want to get to the curveball, so a lot of these hitters might start choosing first pitch, second pitch fastballs to get on.
That fastball catches the outside corner. In case you're wondering if there's great history for Brock Holt against Rich Hill, just 0 for 1 against the left-hander, but gets the start instead of Kinsler. Here's a 2-1. 3-1. On deck is Vasquez, the number 8 hitter, then Rodriguez, the pitcher, if it should go that far. 2 out, bases empty. No score in the second. 3-1. High and tight, ball 4. And another 2-out walk issued by Rich Hill. He did this in the first.
It's the only thing from time to time with Rich Hill. You just wonder if it's mechanical or mental. Every once in a while, the strike zone jumps on him. But when it doesn't jump on him and he's on attack, he just puts the hitter in a tough place.
Rick Honeycutt is on his 4th manager with the Dodgers as ball 1 is upstairs to Vasquez. 13th year for Honeycutt. They had a nice moment before tonight's game with Dennis Eckersley in a classy move, coming back to Dodger Stadium to throw out the ceremonial first pitch. Caught by Kirk Gibson. He got him on that backdoor slider on a 3-2 pitch to win game 1 with that home run into right. And for Kirk Gibson, his only appearance and at bat in that World Series, and I'd say he made the most of it.
Yeah. Still. Remember it like it was yesterday.
Good catch by Freese. And Rich Hill appreciated it.
Now, the other thing these two starters are dealing with is not your prototypical pregame sleep pattern, meaning both were here way late in preparation for their next day's start. You like to get in bed and get that good night's sleep.
And by the end of it, I mean, it wasn't totally out of the question that Rich Hill could have pitched at some point, the way that game was trending, and Eduardo Rodriguez did pitch. High fly ball into left field. Back is Taylor on the track. to end the inning. A 2-out walk. Rich Hill gets around it. Bottom of the second in game 4. No score. The Podcast is sponsored by Lowe's. A couple miles away, intersection of Venice and La Brea. How about that house? You never get lost. Like, you know exactly where you are. Easy to give directions to friends. Here's a ground ball to the right side, and Cody Bellinger on one pitch is the first out in the second. What should I look for when I'm coming to the party? It's a great house, cute house. How else can I describe it? Kind of blue in color. It's at the corner of Venice and La Brea. Yeah, anything else I should look for? Yeah, it's blue, and it's got Clayton Kershaw's face on it. Fernando. Kershaw gets the ball tomorrow night. Chris Sale gets the ball for the Red Sox. At least at this point, everything's up in the air. Puig shows a bunt, takes a strike. Yasiel. 3 out of 13 in this World Series. Waits for the 0-1. 0-2. Sure, a lot of discussion from an offensive approach tonight. Has got to be a little bit different than what it was last night. And whether or not the guys can adjust, I'm sure they've had that conversation. Look middle, down, and stay away from the pitch up. Into center from Mookie Betts. Let's give you those moments that happened before this game with a ceremonial first pitch.
Your arm might be worse than mine.
I know.
Throw me the 3-2 backdoor slider.
You got it. I got salad though, man. Wait, whoa. Whoa.
Don't get too close. Have some pride.
Yeah. We did it. Yeah, I love you, man.
I love you too.
Two men linked forever in baseball history. And a great moment for Kirk Gibson, and that moment tells you all you need to know about Dennis Eckersley. He's on the losing end, and he shows up, got a great ovation from the fans here at Dodger Stadium, recognizing that there's a lot of class with that man to walk out there and do that. And then the I love you at the end of it. A lot of respect between those two.
Well, that's the interesting thing about closers. Think about the greatest ones, and even Mariano Rivera has his moments, whether it's against the Diamondbacks. You're known for not how great you've been most of the time, it's what moment in time where it didn't go well, and that obviously is what Dennis has had to deal with.
But it was the greatness of the season for Dennis Eckersley and the injuries that Kirk Gibson was dealing with that made that moment so great. But Eckersley was untouchable, and he had just issued a walk. He didn't walk hardly anybody all year. Here's Taylor on with a 2-out hit. First base hit of the night. Let's go back in time. Barely get around the bases. What a moment. And if you're old enough, you remember where you were when that ball left the park here at Dodger Stadium. And there's Tommy Lasorda, the winning manager that year, and the great Magic Johnson, who joined our pregame show before tonight's Game 4. Batter is Austin Barnes. Took a strike after a 2-out hit by Chris Taylor. That's upstairs, the ball and a strike.
People not around here will forget, but Kirk Gibson, one of the most powerful and fast combinations that you'll see, short of Bo Jackson, of course. Gibby could fly.
1-1 pitch. That's a little bit away, and a count 2-1.
Tell early on, just the crowd has obviously dealt with last night. They're waiting for their team to kind of give them something to get loud again. Each team filling each other out here in the early going.
Here comes the 2-1. Good pitch from Rodriguez. 2-2.
That nasty changeup comes out of the same arm angle as a fastball, and the ball just drops away from the right-handed hitters.
And here comes a 2-2 pitch with a runner at first, 2 out. That's down the middle for strike 3, and the second strikeout for Rodriguez. And after 2 in game 4, no score. It's handing off big savings to you. And by YouTube TV. Watch like a fan. Try it free. Third inning now, and the pitcher, Rodriguez, takes a strike from Rich Hill. Eduardo, during the regular season, during interleague play, went 0 for 2, swinging the bat. Does not have a hit in the big leagues. A ball and a strike from Hill.
Well, both innings kind of similar again. 2 outs in both the first and the second. Runners were able to reach.
Inside, Hill thought he had a strike. Instead, it's 2-1. On deck is Mookie Betts. Uh-oh. That ends up in front of his dugout. The bat does, and it's a 2-2 count.
I'm trying to see how that's physically possible.
The bat boy started to run it back and then kind of looked over at the on deck circle like, you want some pine tar? And the answer is no. And everybody's on high alert. 2-2 the count. Oh, and now he gets hit. Rodriguez gets hit by the pitch, and we'll have to go to the replay to see where that caught him, and he's shaking out the right hand, it looks like. Got him on the near the right elbow. The left-handed pitcher, and here it is. I mean, that's just, it was to the point after that last swing like you're looking at an easy out if you're Rich Hill, and he ends up hitting him to put the lead man on base and bring up Mookie Betts.
And again, that's from time to time. That's what Rich Hill and the frustration can be, because he can be locked in, and then there can be a pitch or two or an at-bat that the release point of his fastball gets away from him.
4 for 16 in this World Series is Betts. At the tail end of his, and should be, an MVP season, our Indeed player resume. For his career in the regular season, a .303 average. For his career in the postseason, .235 average. Sounded like he cracked his bat. Doesn't check it. He knows better than I do. And the count 0-2 on that pitch inside from Rich Hill. Here's another look at it. No homers, 3 RBIs in the 20 postseason games for this incredible talent.
Against left-handers, the only blemish pitch that he has not had for an average that starts with a 3 or a 4 is the curveball.
Here's a slow roller. He definitely broke his bat. Throw to second with Rodriguez not running. And Turner gets the out.
What a play by Turner.
It's so heads up. It's unbelievable.
And I guess looking at Turner, took for granted that Rodriguez would have gotten to second base, and he had no lead and no wheels getting to second.
I mean, you got to be able to run better than that, don't you?
Yeah.
But for Turner, whether he was helped out by his catcher, Austin Barnes, or just out of the corner of his eye, he obviously knows who's running. But there was no chance to get Mookie Betts at first, so he went to second, and he got Rodriguez by a lot.
Literally a tremendous play under the circumstances that I never saw coming, because I'm staring at Turner and watching Betts run. But Rodriguez just almost was slowing down as he got to second base. So second base was never in question, as we come to find out.
One on, one out. It's been an odd last few hours, at least with regard to game time here at Dodger Stadium. We've seen just about everything. Here comes a 1-0 to Benintendi outside, 2-0. Andrew Fly to left. His first time up was not in the starting lineup last night, so a changeup in the second game here at Dodger Stadium by Alex Cora as he gets Benintendi's bat back in there. Left side. Who wants it? Machado. 2 out.
That could have been, I mean, you know, you may look back on that play and think, oh, no big deal. That actually could be a big inning avoided by the Dodgers because the pitcher didn't run to second base.
Here's Steve Pearce. Strike one. I'm told in my ear that that's the first time that Eduardo Rodriguez has been on the bases. My question is, ever? I mean, at some point he's played baseball and, you know, has had to run 90 feet and at least make it close. As a check on the runner sends Betts back to the bag. He, by the way, is the first pitcher to be hit by a pitch in a World Series game since 1968. Nellie Bryles. Hit by Mickey Lolich in a World Series between the Cardinals and the Tigers.
Yeah, I was one man. I was watching that series. Didn't understand a lot, but I was watching it.
1 on, 2 out. Breaking ball is upstairs. 1 ball, 1 strike. We're told by our reporters down in the dugouts that the Dodger dugout all screaming out in the direction of Justin Turner. 2-2-2 to throw to second.
That's huge. I mean, any help you can get, obviously, when a player is making a play in the moment. You try as a player, and you think every player would do this, and they don't. It doesn't come naturally, but you think about a million situations because it's a fast reaction sport. When the ball's hit to you, you got to know what to do. But in that instance, help was great.
Here's a high fly ball into left. It'll play for Taylor. Rich Hill hits the pitcher to lead off the inning and lives to tell about it. After 2.5 in game 4, no score. Series presented by YouTube TV on Fox. Rich Hill first up, and he's usually good for an entertaining at bat or trip around the bases himself. Here's the 0-1. Here's a bunt. That didn't work. 1 out as Pearce gloves it. Oh.
I think it's going to be one of these days for the pitchers. I think it's just late night. Everyone's on edge.
Look at this. But smiling about it, and the Dodgers hope his ankle is okay. He came into the dugout hot after the top of this third inning. Mad at whatever. As Freese fouls it away, strike one. But he just hit a pitcher at the plate for the first time in a World Series in 50 years. And got around it on the force out at second, a pop up and a fly ball to left. After hitting Eduardo Rodriguez in that right arm near the elbow. Freese struck out his first time. Here's the 0-1. Easy fly ball to right. Martinez went back and then able to recover. 2 out. The batter will be Max Muncy. Chevrolet is the official vehicle of Major League Baseball and the only brand to earn J.D. Power Dependability Awards for cars, trucks, and SUVs 3 years in a row. 2 out, nobody on, and the batter will be Muncy. He had a decent at bat his first time up, ended up hitting a sharp ground ball to first. Shortens up, takes a ball.
Well, early on, both managers really not knowing how the start of the game would go and hoping that they could get some clean innings, easy decisions, and some innings pitched out of their starters. So far, so good. Rich Hill, 3 innings and 1 out away from 3 innings for Rodriguez.
That's a strike, a ball and a strike. Yeah, I think Rodriguez looks good, and Rich Hill, even with that hit batsman, looks sharp. He hasn't allowed a hit and struck out 3. Who's going to break through tonight? Another good pitch from Rodriguez. Strike 2. Rodriguez wants his catcher Vasquez to go through the signs again. So the count's 2-2 here. Max last night had 5 full counts in his 8 plate appearances. He had another in the first inning in this game, game 4. He's had 16 full counts this postseason, 4 more than any other hitter.
The difference early on in the postseason, he's still expanded the zone more than he's capable of, and he's starting to get a little more locked in on that area.
Here's a 2-2. Foul back.
See, that's the kind of swing right there. You know, regular season, when you're more locked in, you don't swing it. He doesn't swing it. That was a ball up out of the zone.
Another 2-2. Another full count for Max Muncy. Into left. Benintendi to his right. Has it. And the inning is over. To the 4th we go. No score. And now let's look at how T-Mobile and Team Rubicon work together to help those affected by natural disasters. And by T-Mobile, whether you're home or away, T-Mobile has you covered. Blimp has been helpful and provides these beautiful shots. Our aerial coverage brought to you by State Farm. Last night, tonight, perfect night weather-wise. As Rich Hill hits the first pitch past the bat of J.D. Martinez, strike 1, mid-70s. crystal clear. Get down into the 60s before the end of the night. Red Sox bats have gone missing since the series has moved out here to LA. 8 hits, 2 runs over this last stretch of baseball as we play here in the 4th. 20+ innings for the top run producing team in the big leagues this year. They were the top hitting team. Really any team category you want to go to as far as offensive statistics, they're at the top.
Yeah, pretty impressive when you start digging in and seeing what this team did on the 162, but even more impressive is what they've done in the postseason to some great pitchers.
Here's a 1-2. A strikeout of J.D. Martinez. Couldn't lay off the high fastball. That's 4 strikeouts for Rich Hill. 1 down and a pair of strikeouts for Martinez. Tomorrow, great matchups, and it's a Fox NFL doubleheader. Starting with the Redskins and the Giants, then it's a big showdown on America's Game of the Week. Aaron Rodgers and the Packers take on Todd Gurley, Jared Goff, and the undefeated Rams. It's all on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Check local listings as Martinez couldn't lay off.
See, the radar gun doesn't really tell the story for Rich Hill. He's got a big delivery and long stride at a unique angle of which he throws across his body. So 91 looks like 97 upstairs, especially after you see the curveball that slows you down.
There's a good breaking ball. A check swing, he went, and that's 2 quick strikes on Xander Bogaerts.
And as a hitter, I'm not saying every hitter, you recognize velocity as your internal radar gun in your eyes, but you also recognize the last pitch and the location of the last pitch. And so when you have a variety of angles and you're seeing top to bottom pitches, it's hard to hit at times.
When it's good, it is like a baseball falling off a table for Rich Hill. And then, as you said, you talk about the velocity, 90, 91 with a fastball, mid-70s with that hook.
Yeah. And here's what you see as a batter. You just see kind of the leg and then this arm coming right at you.
Breaking ball, curveball, grounded. Muncy with a backhand. How about that play? I know he may have come up as a second baseman, but he's played a lot of first base, and that was no easy chance. 2 out.
No, it wasn't. Positioned perfectly. Small little backhand move. And he made it look like he been out there his whole life.
Talked to him during the NLCS and talked about second base. He said, I feel comfortable there. I feel like I am a second baseman as much as I am a first baseman. Good play there by Muncy, and with 2 out, nobody on, here's Eduardo Nunez. Strikeout victim his first time. Breaking ball, the curveball is fouled left side.
One thing we've already seen in this series, Nunez likes the ball down more than he likes it up, especially off a left-hander. So this is a tougher matchup for him, especially with the high fastball that Rich Hill likes to throw, and then of course that big sweeping breaking ball. These are the kind of guys you don't want the breaking ball to almost bounce, because that's the one that Nunez seems to like to go after and hit.
Oh, 1 pitch. Curveball for a strike.
That's the one you could tell the hitter, hey, by the way, I'm going to throw you a curveball. It's going to backdoor and pitch the bottom part of the outside strike zone. Good luck. There's nothing they can do with it. You just tip your hat as a hitter. You want that curveball to come over the middle of the plate.
Struck him out with a 91-mile-an-hour fastball, and Rich Hill is dealing tonight. Justin Turner will lead off for the Dodgers in the bottom of the 4th inning. So far, no score.
We can't wait for June. We'll all be gone for the summer. We're on safari to stay. Tell the teacher we're serving USA.
Game number 4 goes into the bottom of the 4th inning in our Budweiser game summary. A comparison of these two guys getting the start tonight, a pair of left-handers. So far, so very good for Eduardo Rodriguez and Rich Hill. Part of the order for the Dodgers in the 4th inning, Turner, Machado, and Cody Bellinger. Red Sox lead 2-1. 1-1. Turner walked with 2 out in the first. Lays off 2-1.
So disciplined at the plate. That's what makes him so tough, and obviously in the postseason why he's one of the best at getting on base. But he just has a unique ability to lay off of the pitcher's pitches and then not miss the mistakes. He's set up for middle end to do damage, but he'll slug you away as well. He covers the plate so well as a right-handed hitter.
2-2. And a chip back. He's got that cupped end of his gamer, and a little chunk came out of it on that foul ball, so the count 2-2. Whose bats did you used to steal back in your day?
You know, I was a big fan of Chipper Jones's bat. One of the biggest. Primarily for bunting, more surface area for me to bunt, but occasionally if I ran up against an average fastball type pitcher, that's when I looked to launch with fast, try to hit home.
Here's a little fly ball to right for a base hit, and the leadoff man is on for the first time for the Dodgers tonight.
Yeah, that's something we didn't say a lot last night in the 18 innings. Not too many leadoff hitters got on. Didn't create that kind of ultimate stress for the pitcher. Anytime somebody gets on in the postseason, it's a rally. But when you get the leadoff hitter on, you really think it's a rally. And for each club, particularly the Dodgers, they rely on extra base hits and homers more than they do speed.
Gives an opportunity to Manny Machado, who has had many. He's left 31 runners on this postseason. Has 12 RBIs, 3 home runs. Ball 1.
So hard to do, but you just think for a hitter, especially if it was in the regular season, if he went right center and stayed on the ball, that's usually what gets hitters locked in. But when you're trying to launch or trying to get a pitch that you can drive in the gap left field side, that's the one you tendency to pull off or overswing, expand the zone.
Well, he had a rip there and fouled it back. 1 ball, 1 strike after a 93-mile-an-hour fastball from Rodriguez. Dodgers have had a tough time stringing hits together this postseason, even though they've made it this far. And that one inside drives Machado off the plate, gets his attention. 2-1. Good pitch from Rodriguez. 2-2.
You see, that's the perfect pitch for when you're trying to pull the ball. There's no way to stay on that pitch as a hitter, but if you're thinking right center, right center, you got a better chance, even as nasty as that pitch is. What Machado wants, he's been known when he first got called up, those gap power doubles have now turned into light tower power.
Full count. Justin Turner talks to his first base coach, George Lombard. We'll see what the Dodgers want to do, if they want any action on the bases or if they want quiet with Machado at the plate.
Yeah, the only reason you run here is you have ultimate confidence in the guy at the plate that he will not be bothered by the runner and expand the zone and swing at a ball. Because typically you're not going to get a great jump against a left-hander. You're going to wait till he goes home, send the runner in motion, and then trust the hitter will do the rest.
Starts and stops, and a foul back over the screen. Rodriguez has handled this moment well. To this point, the 25-year-old making his first start. Six games out of the bullpen for Alex Cora up until tonight. Pitch number 60 coming to Machado.
You know, it's interesting being left-handed and really having similar type stuff as his teammates. He's got a lot of film he can look at. From Chris Sale to David Price, and certainly pick their brains because they have been working with him all year, trying to get him to go to that next level. And you know, that's easier said than done. When you click yourself and believe in yourself, that's when you go to the next level and trust the stuff you have is so good.
Struck him out. The follow through caught the catcher Vasquez, but a big strikeout for Rodriguez, one away.
Classic changeup. And because it's even in the middle of the plate, the arm speed and the change of velocity is the reason why the hitter doesn't make contact. Even though it wasn't perfectly located, it was the best change of speeds.
One on, one out for Cody Bellinger. Strike one on the inside corner. Bellinger made that huge defensive play in the 10th inning last night. He had just been caught stealing with one out in the 9th inning when he left too early on a 3-2 pitch. And he got redemption with a throw that he unleashed to get Ian Kinsler at the plate and keep the game tied at 2 and end the top of the 10th. Still looking to get clicked in with a bat. 1 for 10 coming in, now 1 for 11. Grounded out to first his first time up. And Bellinger will get attention.
I mean, that right there is so hard to describe what that feels like.
Here's that throw from last night. StatCast AI is powered by Amazon Web Services. And a good tag by Barnes on the back end.
Well, the key was it didn't have to be absolutely perfect as far as directionally, as long as it didn't create a short hop. He got it there on in the air. You saw the distance, 249 feet. And that was after a throw earlier to third base that was offline.
A deep breath for Cody Bellinger after the pain of that foul ball off his right leg. Caught him up high below the knee, above the ankle. 1-2. 2-2.
Tried to go right back in there.
One on, one out after a leadoff hit by Turner. Foul tip hung on to by Vasquez and a strikeout, 2 down. That'll bring in Puig as Bellinger limps back to the dugout.
Puig is due to do something off of left-handers, even though it doesn't show statistically what he has been. Not very good on the year. The splits are still something like, it just couldn't continue the type of hitter that Puig is, but right-handed and left-handed is a dramatic difference.
Puig pops it up on the first pitch. And game number 4 is scoreless through 4. Red Sox will have the bottom 3 in their lineup coming up, and we'll return after this from your local Fox station. Youth of the Year, Malachi Haynes, delivered the game ball prior to the start of Game 4. Actor Anthony Anderson, a member of Boys and Girls Clubs of America's Alumni Hall of Fame, a part of the ceremony. Each year, MLB and Boys and Girls Clubs work together to create unique opportunities for more than 4 million children and teens worldwide. Find out how you can help. Go to bgca.org. Here's Brock Holt, took a strike. And we're underway in the 5th inning of a scoreless game. Slowly hit to second as Muncy makes the play. 1 out.
YouTube TV. Watch like a fan.
Since the Red Sox scored 3 runs in the bottom of the 5th inning in game number 2, these teams have combined to score 5 runs in the last 25.5 innings. The Red Sox, the top run-producing team in the big leagues. The Dodgers, the top run-producing team in the National League.
Yeah, it's been pretty amazing to watch some of these at-bats. And now, you know, some of the guys are dinged up, and it is what it is. But the game planning for each side has been, got to say, perfectly executed to quiet their offenses.
Counts 2-0 on Christian Vasquez, who hit the ball pretty well into left his first time up and sent Chris Taylor back to the track to end the top of the 2nd.
He's had some of the best at bats so far for the Red Sox. I mean, even his outs have been hard.
That one is hooked down the line. Well hit back at the wall. It is foul. Just foul. And almost on cue, Vasquez came that close to putting Boston on top.
And for whatever reason, statistically during the year, it didn't work out. But right now in the postseason, he is not being fooled much. And he looks as confident as if J.D. Martinez were at the plate.
Well, Rich Hill's from Boston. It's like Carlton Fisk pleading with a baseball. He was trying to keep it fair. Hill was trying to push it foul. 2-2 the count. 1 out, nobody on, and a breaking ball, base hit into left. Another good at bat by Christian Vasquez. He's locked in.
He really is, and he just made Rodriguez's job a little bit easier from swinging to bunting. And here's the one where, maybe. And then coming right back with a good swing on a breaking ball for a solid hit.
let's see what happens here with this combination. Vasquez, who doesn't run all that well, over at first. And Eduardo Rodriguez, who at least hasn't shown that he can run all that well at the plate, trying to bunt. Strike one as he backs out of there on a strike.
And I'm going to say the bat's not one of his favorite things to be around. So bunting may not be that easy for him either. High fastball, kind of belt high, would be the pitch to get Rodriguez to pop it up. I mean, here you want him to bunt it if you're Rich Hill. To try to throw a high fastball in the middle of the zone. You got Turner crashing. You're not really worried about at least him taking the bat back and slugging it.
One sacrifice bunt in the big league career for Rodriguez came in 2015, and now to count 2-1. That's a strike, 2-2.
He's not even staying in there to bunt it. I mean, he is squaring around, but then giving up. So
breaking ball gets him looking, and that was almost unfair. Rodriguez never even offered at a pitch.
No, he wasn't comfortable. Doesn't have to do this very often in the American League, of course. And after getting hit by a pitch, you can understand why.
Fair enough.
He might be backing up, seeing a ball coming at him again.
Okay, I'll just go back over and sit down. So the runner remains at first. Vasquez for Mookie Betts, who flies one into center. Back is Bellinger, and a couple of steps onto the track. He has it for the final out of the top of the fifth. Good pitching matchup. Good work by Hill. No score. Game 4. A team that enjoys responsibly. Budweiser reminds you to drink wiser. There's Alex Morgan from the U.S. Women's National Soccer Team. Congratulations to her club. They just qualified for next summer's tournament, the defending World Cup champs. They'll be playing in the Women's World Cup coming up in June on Fox and FS1. Taking in this game, and these are two of the better starts we've seen this entire postseason. Rich Hill scoreless through 5. Eduardo Rodriguez trying to match him. Bottom 3 in the lineup as Taylor takes a strike on a perfect pitch outside corner.
Yeah, the question is going to be, like we saw yesterday, Porcello was dealing as well. He had one mistake, but was taken out 4 2/3 of what I thought in control effort from the starting pitcher.
And he was relieved in favor of the man on the mound, Eduardo Rodriguez, who threw 6 pitches and struck out Jock Peterson. Then watch the rest of that night unfold with the rest of us and gets the start tonight. He has been great on the mound.
Joe Kelly is, as we speak, getting loose probably for the top of the lineup if there's runners on base in this inning.
2 balls and a strike on Taylor, who has one of 2 Dodger hits. Hit by Vasquez in the top of this inning, their first hit to go along with a hit batsman and 2 walks. Two-1 to Taylor. 2-2. 94 from Rodriguez. Taylor takes strike 3 over the inside corner, 1 away. And that's 5 strikeouts for Rodriguez.
Painted inside. It's really one of the luxuries he has. Everything he does looks easy to both sides of the plate. Some pitchers in the league have their preferred side, and then the other side isn't as easy for them to get it. Whenever you hear arm side or glove side, that's referring to the side of the plate for the pitcher on the mound.
That fastball sizzles in there at 94 to Austin Barnes. High for ball 1.
Barnes has a simple job. Well, it hasn't been simple for a lot of hitters tonight. In the 8th spot, get on so that the pitcher can try to bunch you over.
Backhanded stop by Nunez. 2 out. Hill coming up.
YouTube TV. Watch like a fan.
Rich Hill tried to bunt his first time up, leading off in the bottom of the 3rd inning, popped it up. It was caught by Pierce, the first baseman for the Red Sox, so 0 for 1. During the regular season was 4 out of 43. Takes the ball.
Got a bunch of different stance he'll go to. This is his I'm going to swing hard stance right here. Just kind of lull you to sleep. I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing anything. And then unleash like that. and then he will get to a 2-strike kind of Pete Rose attack. You know, like put it in play swing. Whatever it takes.
Reds come back. He tried.
So here we go. Now I
fouled it straight back and just sprinted.
He doesn't know where it is, so he's not going to take for granted. He thinks it might be perfect. Here's the squat down, fight it, try to make contact. I love it, man. It's fun. He knows he's limited, but he's going to give you everything he has, even if it looks a little different.
And here's his fight mode.
We could maybe more Ichiro, you know. He's going to make his opposing pitcher work now.
Rounds it left side. Nunez gathers it in. And Rich Hill, pumping all the way down the first baseline, is out. And we are scoreless in game 4 through 5. Commitment to fight against cancer. For 10 years, Major League Baseball, its fans, players, and coaches have delivered a powerful, determined message that we, together, will defeat cancer. Please join Major League Baseball, MasterCard, Fox, and the entire baseball family as we stand united and steadfast against cancer. Visit standuptocancer.org to find out how you can help today.
And I do it 1,000
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. I'll run into Taco Bell on Thursday, November 1st from 2 to 6 p.m. to score your free Doritos Locos Tacos. And by Indeed, the world's #1 job site. Prior to tonight's game, Mariano Rivera, Trevor Hoffman, Doug Elliott, and Kathy Bromage of the Hartford recognized the winners of the 2018 Reliever of the Year Award. Edwin Diaz of the Mariners is the American League recipient, and Josh Hader of the Milwaukee Brewers is the NL recipient. Diaz had 57 saves, 14 more than any other pitcher in baseball. And Hader, we talked about him, all NLCS, 6-1, 2.43 ERA, and 143 strikeouts in only 81 plus innings pitched. Here's Benintendi. Curveball is in for a strike, and the count evens 1-1. A big inning here for Rich Hill. Both pitchers have been great, and it's the 2, 3, 4 hitters here for Boston. Benintendi 0 for 2. Two and 1. A .290 hitter during the regular season. Off the fists and fouled away. 2-2.
You know, there were so many intriguing storylines before the series started that I was writing down, trying to think what will happen. Will the left-handed pitchers limit the power of the Red Sox? And so far that's been the case, in the fact that home runs from the left-handed pitcher, Boston was way down. And you see the 1, 2, 3, and 4 hitters.
Curveball, foul ball, left side.
Now it worked out okay in Boston, and how much of that from the weather standpoint was affected from the Dodgers pitchers. But here so far, it's been a brilliant approach by both staffs to limit the effectiveness of what each offense does well.
Both bullpens are quiet at the moment. 2-2 pitch. Benintendi hits one back to Hill. Slipped a bit. Underhands for the out. One down to start the 6th inning.
So here's how you make 2 pitches look like 6 pitches. He will have this. The longer he pitches, he'll create different angles. He'll throw his fastball from down there. Now, it doesn't always excite Dave Roberts, because especially when he's throwing strikes with his certain release point, you start altering your release point and maybe altering the strike zone. But a great play on Benintendi.
We'll bring in Steve Pearce, the number 3 hitter. 0 for 1 with a walk, and he's flied out. A good one from Hill for strike 1. Tom, give us more on where Hill starts his effort toward the plate.
Yeah, he starts on that third base side of the rubber. You see him getting position right there. When he was out of baseball, Joe, throwing BP with the American Legion post 114, he actually had pitched from the first base side of the rubber. That was because he was trying to be a left-handed relief specialist facing a lot of left-handed hitters. Now as a starting pitcher, he faces a lot of right-handed hitters. And it was Jared Porter, the scout for the Red Sox, who said, hey, Rich, maybe you should move to the third base side of the rubber.
Here's one into left. Good pitch. In on the hands of Pearce. 2 out in the 6th inning. Go ahead, Tom.
And I'm sure you know that Jared Porter played against Rich Hill in high school in the great Cranberry League. Well, that change on the rubber really clicked right away for Rich. And the reason why is you're seeing here tonight with the breaking ball. It's a much more competitive pitch. It's on the plate longer than if he was more offset. And by the way, this is a nightmare matchup for the Red Sox. They were the worst hitting team in baseball this year against left-handed breaking pitches.
so far for J.D. Martinez. He is 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. And Hill, while he's thrown in plenty of breaking balls, has been able to get the fastball by his bat. And there are the numbers to back up what Tom just said. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I've noticed that JD definitely looks like a different hitter since rolling the ankle, and that's not, and he will not say that's part of any reason at all, but you can just tell.
Broken back and a soft liner to end the inning. Rich Hill has allowed 1 hit and no runs through 6. Bottom of the 6th inning, top of the lineup for the Dodgers. David Freese, Max Muncy, Justin Turner against Eduardo Rodriguez, who worked in relief last night, faced only 1 batter, and he hit David Freese to start the inning on the leg. And he's trying to shake it off.
Well, he's been brilliant, has Rodriguez. I don't think he's going to be able to get through much more of the inning with the bullpen going up. And, of course, with Turner coming up, I think this is his last hitter. We're going to get a pitch run.
Kike Hernandez will come off the bench and run, and then the Dodgers can improve their defense in the 7th. That'll move the guy who's about to dig in, Max Muncy, back to first base defensively. No one has reached second base tonight.
That's amazing. It really is. And actually perfect timing for both clubs whose bullpens are a little exhausted. I always get a kick out of a guy getting hit. In the clubhouse, in the dugout, everyone's always yelling, "Hey, way to go. We got ice. Way to go. We got ice." Yeah, you take one up there and see. But he gets on base. Anything that can get the Dodgers offense going will be fine with Dave Roberts.
And with David Freese as well. Matt Barnes, a right-hander, getting loose. As John said, Justin Turner, the right-handed hitter in the on-deck circle. Right now it's Muncy. 0 for 2. Nothing in 2, the count on Muncy.
Regardless of what happens in this inning, Rodriguez needs to take this start and magnify it for the future. Because this is how good he can be on a daily basis. And this is what his teammates have been trying to tell him throughout the season.
Strike 3 on the inside corner, 1 away. And we'll see if that's it for Rodriguez, or if he continues with Turner coming up. Boy, he's been great tonight.
He has. And you can tell that he's waiting for some kind of information, either from his reliever being ready or maybe not quite.
Cora stays in the dugout. Rodriguez stays on the mound. Turner 1 for 1 with a walk and a single. Strike 1. almost caught Turner, and I don't think he would have been heartbroken to have that clip him on the leg. Almost spun into it.
I was wondering from the sound standpoint. Looks like there was a double hit, but I'm sure he would have known.
Missed his pant leg, and the count 1-1. That is a fair ball down the line. Hernandez will dig for third. Turner into second with a double here in the sixth.
Well, now you're committed. You're going to have to walk Machado and pitch to Bellinger unless you're going to try and bring in the reliever now. So see what Alex Cora decides to do after Turner again. Just down the line over the bag. And the first scoring opportunity for either team. They're going to walk him and put it in the hands of Rodriguez against Bellinger. Now here's where it gets interesting. He's made tremendous pitches inside to Bellinger, but now the bases are loaded. And can you have the confidence to make those same kind of pitches?
Dana Lavangi, the pitching coach, jogs out to talk. Last night, we played 18 innings. There were a total of 11 at-bats with runners in scoring position. This is the first opportunity here in Game 4 for either side. And it's the double by Turner that leads to the intentional walk to Machado to load the bases with one out for Cody Bellinger.
And for Cody Bellinger, depending on where the defense is, a ground ball is not the end of the world. He's so fast that unless he hits a rocket, he can beat out a double play. So contact here is essential. And they're going to play the infield back. So any ground ball to short or second would be hard pressed to turn based on the speed of Bellinger. Everybody loses sight of that. When the hitter comes up to the plate, he's thinking, I can break this open. I can hit a gap or a homer. And when the score is 0-0, you really need to take the lead.
From the windup. Ground ball to first. Pierce to the plate. Out. Throw to first. Gets away. Down the line. Turner to the plate to score. And the Dodgers strike first. Going to third. Machado. Safe. 1-0 LA.
Well, even though he didn't hit it to the second baseman or the shortstop, that's what contact can do, and that's what speed can do. The throw home was high. When the throw home goes high to a shorter catcher, watch what happens. He's got to gather it and throw it in one motion, but that speed of Bellinger played itself out. He knows he's got to get down the line. He runs inside the line, no fear of interference, and then Machado loses track of the ball. When we follow it, watch Machado. He gets to second. He's watching the play. He stops. And then he doesn't see where the ball is, doesn't know whether to go or not. Retouches the bag. And then eventually gets over to third. Wow.
He's up in the air, comes down on the corner of the plate, no doubt there. And now Alex Cora, I think, if there's anything to challenge, well, there could be two. One, the trip down the first baseline, and then this at third base with Machado able to keep his hand on the bag. That's clear. And that trip down the first baseline looked perfectly fine.
Yeah. But again, contact was essential, and the speed was secondary that made this play happen. And an impossible play for Pierce to pick up the ball because he got the runner at the same time.
So Alex Cora came out, talked to the umpires, checked with Ted Barrett, the crew chief, who's down the right field line. Doesn't ask for any review, and it's 1-0 Dodgers here in the bottom of the 6th inning with first and third for Puig, 2 out. And good heads-up base running by Justin Turner when that ball got past first. He was on the move around third, came to the plate, and Machado hesitated but still got to third.
I don't think anybody else in the lineup, including Puig, could have got to first base on that ball as fast as Bellinger did.
It goes down as a fielder's choice, 3-2 on the out at the plate. Then an error on Vasquez on the throw, no RBI. But Bellinger doesn't care about that. By putting the bat on the ball and busting it down the line, he's put the Dodgers on top. Well, you talked about Puig's issues with left-handed pitching. You've got a right-hander, Barnes, ready to go. But look at this season. Hit .212 against lefties. That's why Rodriguez is still out there with the right-handed batter at the plate. And Barnes is in the bullpen. The 0-1.
And it's the first time all series in the postseason that the opposing manager has not made that move. Because it just looks like you should make that move, but then when you dive into the numbers, you really shouldn't. But it's the optics of it that a lot of managers fall into, thinking, well, I got a right-hander warming up, I got to bring him in.
First and third, 2 out, a run home for the Dodgers. 1-1 pitch is high, 2-1. However, this turns out for Eduardo Rodriguez. He's been so impressive tonight. The 25-year-old left-hander. He got the ground ball off the bat of Bellinger in the tight spot. But the Red Sox just couldn't turn the double play.
Yeah, we've gotten into an era where now the first question everybody's going to ask Alex Cora after the game is, you had guys up in the pen, why didn't you bring them in for Turner? And my answer would be because my guy's dealing out there.
They count 3-1.
You know that's going to be the first question.
No doubt.
And that's the era we're in now.
Well, last night, Dave Roberts didn't manage by the numbers book. His eyes told him to keep Walker Buehler in the game, and he gave him 7 shutout innings on 2 hits. With his highest pitch count of the season, well over 100. Here comes the 3-1. Puig launches! Left field! Goodbye! 4-0 Dodgers in the 6th. He just got a left-hander. The left-hander stays in, and Yasiel Puig connected. Puig with the 3-run shot in Game 7 in Milwaukee in the 6th off Jeffress. Flexing here in the 6th inning off Rodriguez in Game 4, 4-0. The reaction by Rodriguez. He pitched his heart out here tonight. Couldn't watch Yasiel go around the bases way up into the seats and left. And a curtain call for number 66 with a 3-run shot to make it 4-0 here in the 6th inning. As Barnes takes over, and again, if you go by the book and you go by the stats, it showed the splits of Yasiel Puig against left-handed pitching as opposed to right-handed pitching. That'll be the reason why. But Yasiel Puig threw the book right out of the window.
Well, from a mismatch of 2-out runs early in this World Series, those 2-out 3 runs right there for the Dodgers and this fan base after what they went through last night, and for Dave Roberts, a welcome offensive explosion, if you will. 4 runs, and his starter, Rich Hill, has been fantastic.
Here's a 2-0 pitch to Taylor. Up and away from Barnes, 3-0. So that kid who caught the home run ball way up in the left field seats.
You know, in this game, with what's you ask of how many players to actually contribute for a successful game, we think that every reliever is just going to come in and always be awesome. The point is, you having to use so many guys last night that it was important to get as many innings you could out of the starters. And fatigue comes in, no matter if it's at the end of the year or not, and your adrenaline kicks you in. It's just hard for every reliever to come in and be perfect. Of course, Dave Roberts, the first 2 games, asked Madsen in some tough situations to come in. It didn't work out. 2 wins for the Red Sox.
Full count.
And in this game tonight, it will be all about why didn't you take out your starter. So managing's tough. No matter if you got a lot of information or you don't, the end result is about execution. Sometimes the guys deliver and sometimes they don't.
Puig delivered. 3-2. Upstairs for ball 4 to keep this spot of the 6th inning going, and the 8th man to bat will be the catcher Austin Barnes. Let's go down to Ken Rosenthal.
Joe, these decisions are always extremely difficult for a manager, but I want to point out one thing about this one. Eduardo Rodriguez had thrown only 78 pitches the entire postseason, 93 tonight. So at some point, Alex Cora might have said to himself, at what point are we going too far? And that's the question I would ask, and a question that needs to be asked afterward. Why did you get a little bit, maybe too far, with Eduardo Rodriguez?
Well, what's interesting about that, Kenny, is what gets lost in yesterday's game is how quick they took out Porcello. And by taking him out that quick, you exhaust a lot of opportunities for the game to go exactly the way you want to. And of course, who would ever think it's going to be 18 innings? So it's the push or the pull in the conversation that for this game will be a lot more obvious than yesterday's game.
Taylor on at first. Takes a strike. Barnes does. Taylor on his toes over there looking like he wants to run. This would be a time to do it with 2 out. On the other side, you've got Rich Hill, who's standing in the on-deck circle, and the job he's done through 6. He's thrown 82 pitches. I mean, again, and Kennedy's point is well taken, but you can't base everything just off a raw statistic of pitch count.
Yeah, and the thing is, he got what he wanted. He got the ground ball to first base. Had the throw been a little lower, who knows? I mean, ultimately, he pitched a great game. And it's going to come down to the home run that he gives up to Puig. That statistically, when you can't have it both ways. You can't say you're going by the numbers and not so you're going by the numbers. That was strictly by the numbers. And we showed you why it didn't work out.
Well, now Hill has gone back into the dugout. Dozier is in the on-deck circle, and Ryan Madsen is getting loose. They may be content with 6 shutout innings from Hill and not wanting to push it any further. The 0-2 outside. You know, when we talked to Dave Roberts, as you go to the other side, he said, look, we'll get what we get out of Rich Hill. Don't expect him to pitch deep into the ball game. We're still relatively well rested in our bullpen because we didn't extend anybody last night. And whoever we have to use, we're looking ahead to Clayton Kershaw in Game 5, and Kershaw's going to have to give us innings. He's going to have to pitch like an ace.
Yep.
And at some point, guys have to go do it. No matter what the book says and whatever statistics, wherever they may lead you. It's about a guy on the mound with a ball and a guy at the plate with a bat. And all that said, tonight offensively, the Red Sox have only one hit. Two and two.
So now that scoreboard we talked about earlier, and now the rest of the game will be managed a little differently unless those Red Sox hitters can put pressure on the Dodgers and climb back in this game. That leaves Alex Cora with trying to utilize and store up all his assets and up for Game 5 availability.
A rematch of Game 1, Sale and Kershaw. There goes Taylor, and there's a swing and a miss at the plate to end the inning. Yasiel Puig touched one off. And set off the celebration. He knows how to party. Yasiel Puig, arms raised, blowing kisses, flexing. Kissing the bicep. 4-0 LA. Back after this from your local Fox station. Rich Hill's spot did not come up in the bottom of the 6th inning, so he remains in the ball game with Xander Bogaerts leading off. The count 2-0, and this is an interesting move. 4-0. The Dodgers on top. We're in the 7th. Bogaerts, Nunez, Holt. 1 hit allowed by Rich Hill. 6 strikeouts. 2 walks. Did hit a batter. That was the pitcher Rodriguez. Here's a 2-0. 3-0. You surprised he went back out there?
Oh, not really. I mean, they're going to get the bullpen ready, and maybe again a guy who's only given up 1 hit. I know it's a small sample size, but he hasn't given up a run from the 7th and 9th inning. Only 5.2 innings of work, but he won't be given an opportunity to mess it up. That's for sure. The bullpen will come in as soon as Dave has seen something different.
Left-hander Scott Alexander joins Ryan Madson. Rick Honeycutt on the phone, working over that gum. Here comes 3-1. Breaking ball in for a strike as Bogaerts took a step toward first, a full count.
You talk about a weapon. You can throw that anytime you want for the most part. The way he angles it and splits the plate.
That was on 3-1. Up by 4. Breaking ball misses inside, a leadoff walk. And maybe that'll start something for Boston here in the 7th. StatCast AI powered by Amazon Web Services. Here's the curveball.
Yeah, the curveball has tremendous break, and the reason it has tremendous break, it has tremendous spin. And you're going to see the numbers upwards of 2,900, and the average is just below 2,500. So that's spinning the baseball a lot, creating a lot of spin, therefore a lot of break.
Well, Hill will stay in to face Nunez. And you know the matchup here with regard to what Dave Roberts is thinking. He wants Hill against Nunez instead of Madson against Devers. the powerful left-handed batter who would no doubt come off the bench for Boston is Kike Hernandez, who pinch ran in the bottom of the 6th. Is in at second base defensively, and that moves Muncy to first. Here's the 0-1. Good curveball, strike 2.
He's had good feel all night. Occasional fastball command issues where he's walked a few people and then hit one. Other than that, you're talking about a powerful lineup that only has 1 hit. We're in the 7th.
Here's the 0-2. Strikeout for round number 1 as he muscled up with a 91-mile-an-hour fastball, and here comes Dave Roberts jogging out to talk to Hill. Will a pitching change follow? They'll let him hear it here at Dodger Stadium. That's it for Hill. And he walks away on a strikeout. Tonight, starring in Fox's thrilling series The Passage, based on the best-selling trilogy from executive producer Ridley Scott. Passage premieres this January on Fox. Beautiful family and beautiful work by Rich Hill from Milton, Massachusetts. Former Boston Red Sox left-hander, and he was terrific tonight. Got into the 7th, went 6 1/3, allowed 1 hit. As Scott Alexander takes over, and Brock Holt will take his at bat here in the 7th. There are the numbers during the regular season. Worked last night and allowed a run.
You don't see too many left-handers come in for left-handers, but that's exactly what Dave Roberts chose, with lefty to face Brock Holt.
That's a little bit up. 2-0.
What you're hoping is that the command of the reliever will be a little bit better than the guy who was out on the mound pitching the majority of the night.
That's ball 3.
Unfortunately, it doesn't always work like that.
Brock Holt against left-handed pitching this year hit .292. This postseason 2 out of 3. Here's a 3-0 from the lefty that is outside to put 2 on with 1 out. Opportunity for Boston, and now a quick word from Duracell.
This is the #1 trusted brand.
So now both teams are into their bullpens, 2 on with 1 out. And when the dam breaks and the turnstile starts turning for each side, you see multiple pitchers coming out of the pen, and here comes Dave Roberts, and here comes the 3rd pitcher of the inning with Christian Vasquez digging in. Alexander comes out of the bullpen and walks the only man he faces on 4 pitches. Madsen coming out of the pen with 2 on for Boston in the 7th. Plays the game with a ton of emotion. He just pounded a ball into the seats and left to make it 4-0. But right now, here in the top of the 7th inning, a good opportunity for the Boston Red Sox as Ryan Madsen takes over. And there are his numbers this postseason. Worked last night. Faced 1 batter, got an out. Jackie Bradley Jr. pinch hitting here for Vasquez. And he pops up. Foul territory. Out of play for strike 1. Just to finish the story on Rich Hill. We went 6 1/3, 1 hit allowed tonight to this terrific Boston lineup that led baseball in runs per game. Last year during the World Series against Houston, Hill got the start in Game 2. Went 4, allowed a run on 3 hits, but was pulled after 60 pitches. Worked in Game 6 and didn't last through 5. Allowed a run on 4 hits. Tonight, gets into the 7th. After an 18-inning Game 3, Madsen brings it. That is down, a ball and a strike.
And again, interestingly enough, came out of the game when a left-handed hitter was at the plate for a left-handed reliever. That man right there, unfortunately, couldn't throw his strikes. A one-batter appearance.
And he walked Brock Holt. Madsen steps off. He has allowed 5 inherited runners to score. Madsen last night came into a clean inning, got that out, and he's into this one with 2 on and 1 out. So right back into stress. Madsen picked up from the Washington Nationals. He's gotten some big outs this postseason for the Dodgers. Bradley takes low, 2-1. The signature pitch for Madsen is the changeup, and it looked like in the cold weather back in Boston at Fenway, he didn't have a feel for that pitch.
Yeah, he didn't trust it, and he couldn't command the fastball and put himself in a tough situation.
High fly ball to right. Long run. Hernandez is out there for the out. And a good play by the second baseman, Kike Hernandez, 2 away. I don't think Yasiel Puig was going to be able to get to that ball.
No, he's playing pretty deep, and even though the ball was up there a long time, Kike was about the only recipient of it. See where they're playing, and he makes a beeline to it. And Puig is nowhere in the picture.
Not only called for it with his glove, but gave a little bit of a whistle to let Puig know that he had a bead on it. Now Mitch Moreland will come off the bench to hit with 2 on and 2 out here in the 7th. And a quick word from Bank of America.
You're all set. Your money has been transferred.
Get the play-by-play of your money with Erica, your virtual financial assistant.
Moreland started last night. Was replaced in the 12th. While he was in there, was 0 for 5. As he faces Ryan Madsen, 2 on, 2 out. Dodgers leading by 4. High fly ball to right. Back at the wall. It is gone. Pinch hit, 3-run home run, Moreland. And the Red Sox are within a run. It's 4-3. And more inherited runners scoring against Madsen. A run charge to Hill, a run charge to Alexander, and one to Madsen. And the Red Sox are right back in Game 4. Ball 1 now to Betts.
Well, just like that.
A ball and a strike.
That's a dugout on the other side. They've been waiting for that kind of eruption for a while. Now energy back in their clubhouse. 2 outs.
More 2-out damage. Here's one back to Madsen. Knocks it down. And the inning is over. 3 of the 17 runs The Red Sox have scored in this World Series. Have come with 2 out. How about that delivery by Moreland off the bench? And the two teams trade 3-run home runs. Time to stretch. It's tight now in Game 4. Dodgers lead by 1. A YouTube TV on Fox. Aerial coverage is provided by State Farm as game number 4 slides into the bottom of the 7th inning. 1-run game now. A pinch hit 3-run home run with 2 out by Mitch Moreland. And it's 4-3. More runs on the scoreboard than hits. Each side with a 3-run home run, and Jock Peterson is off the bench to bat for Ryan Madson.
You know, the weirdest part about today's game, the freshest guys were the starters. Everybody else is maxed. Everyone else has pitched a ton in the game. Joe Kelly's been unbelievable for the Red Sox, but, you know, 3 games in a row now. Because of the no off day, you got to start watching the tank getting empty for some of these guys.
Saw the new battery. Joe Kelly on the mound. Sandy Leon behind the plate. 98 from Kelly. Strike 1.
And the scoreboard just changed for Alex Cora and the way that he'll manage this game the rest of the way now. He believes his team's definitely going to score a run, and he has enough firepower to keep it right there.
The 0-1 to Peterson, who homered last night. Breaking ball misses inside. Henley Jansen getting loose here in the 7th inning. He went 2 last night. As did Pedro Baez, their other right-handed reliever who's been good in the late innings. Especially here in the postseason. Here comes a 1-1. And that
crossed him up. Wow, wow, wow.
That hit the home plate umpire, Chad Fairchild. That's why Leon's talking to him.
Well, he's talking to him and asking him, we don't want to use a mound visit right here. I got crossed up. And when the umpires are at risk of being crossed up, they can grant a free mound visit.
Look at Chris Sale pumping up his teammates in the dugout. And then on the other side, Ryan Madson, who was just dinged for a 3-run home run with 2 out in the top of the inning, just taking it in, reflecting on what just happened. 2-2 on Peterson. 99 up and out of the strike zone. A note that Ryan Madson doesn't want to hear. With the total of 7 inherited runners that he's allowed to score is the highest ever in one World Series. We're only in the 4th game. That's inside, a full count.
Well, again, after Hill walked a hitter, he got an out. And then was removed. Another walk. And then Madson came in, got an out, and then a 3-run home.
Good breaking ball to strike him out. 1 down in the 7th.
After Heat, he came with a backdoor breaking ball on that 3-2 pitch that we have been seeing quite often.
I think as you were recounting what happened in the top of the 7th inning, what will disappoint Dave Roberts the most will be the 4-pitch walk by Alexander to the left-handed hitting Holt. It led to another pitching change and eventually the 3-run home run.
And again, you had a left-handed starter on the mound. So I get it if it would have been a right-handed hitter facing Holt, but the lefty that comes in, you're asking him to be on point immediately every single time. And, you know, that's his job. He should be. And he did not find the strike zone on 4 pitches.
In case you're wondering why Kenley Jansen is getting loose here, the Red Sox in the top of the 8th inning will have their big bats. Benintendi, Pierce, J.D. Martinez, Xander Bogaerts. Here's one into right center field. Betts over to grab it. 2 down. T-Mobile is continuing their commitment to hurricane recovery this World Series by donating $10,000 for each home run hit. The fan support is critical for each tweet or retweet with hashtag HR4HR. T-Mobile will donate another $2. Joe Kelly just keeps on rolling, and here is Max Muncy, 0 for 3. Good pitch on the inside corner at 99 for strike 1. Up and away.
In essence, this game is right back where it started with the bases loaded, 1 out, and Bellinger up. That run is the difference when you trade 2 3-run homers. Although, be it Boston's coming late after a 4-run lead, but Bellinger's ability to get down the line.
Well, Kelly is just locked in, hitting corners, behind in the count, throwing breaking balls for strikes. It's 1 and 2 now on Muncy. The other way for a base hit.
The pitch selection got Joe Kelly right there. He was so filthy with fastball, curveball. He slowed Muncy down with a curveball, and he threw a changeup after the curveball. So when you slow the hitter down, he's able to stay on it. There's the changeup. So he went slow, and he was able to stay on it and go the other way and fight it off. Had he sped him up, obviously, that would have been much more difficult to do. So just pitch selection there is the reason why Muncy was able to stay on that pitch.
The biggest hit, other than the 3-run home run, obviously, that came in the 6th inning, was delivered by Justin Turner. He doubled right over the bag down the line to set up the scoring chance. It led to that 1-0 lead before Puig hit one up into left field for a 4-0 lead. There's a strike. Turner's been on base all 3 times he's been to the plate. A walk, a single, a double. Flied into center, easy for Betts. And game number 4 is headed into the 8th. 2, 3, and 4 batters coming up for 3LA. Creators faced off in a baseball-inspired competition, and earlier tonight, the winners team edged throughout the honorary first pitch. Here's Game 4 of the World Series as we welcome you back. It's a 1-run game, 2, 3, 4 hitters against Kenley Jansen, and a wave and a miss and a high fastball from Jansen. Strike one by Benintendi.
Well, here you go. Put your seatbelts on. We got 2 innings, 1-run game. And whether or not Jansen can get 6 outs, he's here to get 3 outs in this inning with part of the order up.
To the right side. Muncy to the bag. 1 out. I think if you were to ask Dave Roberts right now why Jansen here, he's thinking the 2, 3, 4 hitters. I'll worry about the 9th inning and the 9th inning.
Yeah, exactly. Certainly the offenses woke up late. In late game last night. Both pitchers were outstanding through 5. No score, and then 7 runs in the last 2 innings.
We talked coming into this World Series how terrific this Boston Red Sox lineup is as Pierce stands in. The top 4 slots in the Red Sox lineup. Last night 0 for 28. Tonight 0 for 13. So 0 for 41, the top 4 spots. In these 2 games, here's a fly ball into left center. Back is Bellinger at the wall. The game is tied. Steve Pearce. Four in the 8th. So going to the closer in the 8th inning with a 2, 3, and 4 hitters, and that did not work.
Well, an inside cutter is not exactly where he wanted it, and that's where Pierce was able to take advantage.
And Steve Pearce, who grew up a Red Sox fan, picked up in season, has just brought his Red Sox back level at 4-4.
He's a middle in, middle down and in hitter. You get a chance to see the replay, see if that's exactly.
One ball, 1 strike on J.D. Martinez. There will be plenty of questions about the pitching moves made here over the last few innings. Going back to the 6th. Here's a pop-up off the bat of Martinez, out of play, strike 2. Here's the pitch.
That's exactly middle third of the plate, and that's his power stroke. And that's all it took right there. The spin of a cutter can be hard to hit, especially when it's going away from you.
A strikeout for round number 2.
But it's much like a backup slider when it's in the spot of a hitter looking to do damage. I mean, this is the hitter allowing the pitcher to apply the power and make a good swing, and you see the dugout.
Remember when the Dodgers got 4 runs in the 6th inning? They sent 8 men to the plate, and Rich Hill's spot was the next spot. He was left in the on-deck circle. At one point, he was replaced in the on-deck circle by Brian Dozier as Bogaerts takes the ball outside. By not getting that spot to the plate, it sent Rich Hill back out there. Hill walked the leadoff man in the 7th, but came back to get a strikeout. And then the parade out of the bullpen started with Alexander, Madsen, now Jansen. And you get the feeling there's a long way to go in this one, even though we're sitting here in the 8th. It's a tie game, and There are some big bullets that have been used here, especially by Dave Roberts now.
And again, you got David Price in the bullpen getting loose. I mean, this is
deja vu.
This is something right here. That's why I said fasten your seatbelts. It's going to get crazy in these last 2 innings.
Here's a 1-1. Bogaerts pops it up. Yasiel Puig in to get it. And this game is tied. And it's Steve Pearce, a well-traveled big leaguer who ties the game off Kenley Jansen. Now for a word from Bank of America and its new virtual assistant, Erica, an easier way to stay on top of your financial game. Steve Pearce, who started the season in Toronto, to Boston during the year, as Machado starts the 8th inning with a base hit into right center field. But Pearce has tied this game with a home run off Kenley Jansen, and Machado on for the 2nd time tonight, trying to get the crowd back in it as they have been stunned by Moreland and Pearce in a 4-4 game. The batter will be Bellinger. David Price is in the bullpen. Now he sat down just a moment ago, was throwing during the break. And Craig Kimbrell is up. In a tie game in the 8th. Cody Bellinger against Joe Kelly. Breaking ball down and in, ball 1.
Yeah, I don't even know why we look at this stuff, right? Why do we look at the numbers? Sometimes it comes down to executing under the gun, and in several instances there hasn't been some execution, so it's going to exasperate the move, and questions will follow.
Here's a 1-0. Good swing by Bellinger. Fouled straight back. The ball and a strike. Rich Hill, the starter and the left-hander, was lifted for another left-hander. Alexander came on to walk Holt on 4 pitches. Madsen got an out, and then Moreland took Madsen out for a 3-run home run. Dave Roberts went to his closer, Kenley Jansen, in the top of this inning. A 1-out home run by Steve Pearce has tied the game. Now Kelly back out there, and Bellinger checks his swing on ball 2. All of that followed Alex Cora leaving the starter Eduardo Rodriguez in to face Yasiel Puig with 2 out and 2 on in the 6th inning, and he got him for a 3-run home run. See what the Dodgers have done all year when leading by 4 or more runs. 54-0.
Well, whatever energy was spent last night, there was a burst of it back to the Dodgers once they got that 4-0 lead. You could just tell. You showed Chris Sale trying to fire up his side, and now that jolt of energy's back with Boston. But nonetheless, we're talking about 25 innings of tremendous stress in the last 36 hours.
Here's a 2-1 to Bellinger. Tapped with foul. 2-2. So again, if a pitching change comes here in the bottom of the 8th, right now it looks like it would be the closer for the Red Sox, Kimbrell, as Price has taken a seat. Cody Bellinger on 2-2, strikes out.
I just had this mental picture of a teeter-totter, and if each team was on a teeter-totter swinging each way, I think it broke. I think it broke. Like, it swung so many different ways in these last 2 games that I think it broke. It snapped in half. Nobody can sit on in either end.
We saw in that package on Yasiel Puig, he snapped the bat in half earlier this postseason during the NLCS over his leg after a strikeout. He celebrated going around the bases after the 3-run home run his last time up. And he faces the right-hander here with 1-on-1 out in the 8th. Ground ball to the left of Bogaerts. What a play. Throw to first. Safe. And the Red Sox bench is telling Alex Cora to take a look at that. What an effort by Holt on the turn. And let's take another look. Good start of it by Bogaerts. And he was safe. Let's watch his trip down the first base line. Kind of slowed up. Still beat it.
Machado goes in, slides in. You mentioned Brock makes a good turn. Puig was timing it, I guess.
Batter now is Chris Taylor. Down, ball 1. Dylan Floro is up for the Dodgers in their pen. Kimbrel just watching the action now for the Red Sox in their pen. 1-0 pitch. Two 2-0 on Taylor. With Yasmani Grandal in the on-deck circle, he would hit for Austin Barnes if this 8th inning continues past Chris Taylor. Left side, base hit. Puig will turn and go to third. The throw into second, first and third, 2 out.
Well, Puig, right about here, he makes up his mind. Getting to third there with 2 outs will create some stress, of course, for the pitcher and the catcher.
And a meeting on the mound with Dana Lavangi out to talk with Yasmani Grandal about to step in as the pinch hitter. Tie game, 8th inning, and now a quick word from Geico.
Here you go.
Oh,
and your
you.
wings.
Thanks.
Enjoy.
All right, I'm starved.
Oh, so I guess you heard, huh?
The Geico could save you 15% or more on car insurance?
No, those are ghost pepper wings.
Geico, an official partner of Major League Baseball.
So this right here, this meeting's about how to pitch to Grandal, and certainly they're going to try to get him out up with fastballs. Don't forget about the high fastball, but the power curveball maybe to get ahead of him. But they want to pitch him up and see if he can expand the zone. As he has, we talked about his ability. He's been struggling a little bit, making contact with some strikeouts.
Had a base hit last night, 1 for 4 in this World Series. First and third, 2 out, tie game, 8th inning. Grandal Takes a strike at 99 from Joe Kelly. One and one.
Be interested to see if he gets the 2 strikes if the Dodgers try to run with Taylor at first. Ball 2.
Strike 2. Grandal drove home 68 runs during the regular season. Was advantage Grandal. Now the count even 2-2. Struck him out. And game number 4 is going to go into the 9th inning. Tied 4-4. In the 9th inning, trying to keep it tied going into the bottom half. In a 4-4 game. First up, Eduardo Nunez. Popped up on the first pitch. Muncy coming on and foul ground, 1 out. Fans, on October 10th, MasterCard invited you to dine out using a MasterCard to help support Stand Up to Cancer. Because so many of you came together to support the cause, MasterCard is presenting a generous $4 million donation to Stand Up to Cancer. MasterCard thanks all of you who made it a date to start something priceless. Great combination with MasterCard and Stand Up to Cancer. Here is a strike into Brock Holt. The Boston Red Sox are playing in their 13th World Series. They have never won a World Series game after trailing by 4 or more runs. They are 8-time world champions. Their only win in a World Series coming back from 3 runs down was the Fisk game. Game 6 in 1975 against the Reds, trailed 6-3 and won it that night 7-6.
It's going to turn into the Never World Series. There's going to be 100 different nevers.
Boy, you're not kidding. I mean, we keep digging through the record books, and the last night was unreal. 7 hours and 20 minutes. Change after change. One on a walk-off home run by Max Muncy. And now, after grabbing a hold of this game, 4-0 in the bottom of the 6th. 3 in the 7th on a pinch hit home run by Moreland, and 1 in the 8th on a home run by Steve Pearce against Jansen. It's a 4-4 game. Left side, fair ball. What a piece of hitting by Holt. And he digs into second base with a double. On base for the third time tonight. A surprise starter, John, against the left-handed starter, Hill. There have been a couple of opportunities to take him out of the ballgame, but Alex Cora wants him in there. He usually works his way into rallies for the Red Sox as their super sub. He's got a double.
Yeah, that's just classic kind of slap it the other way and get rewarded. And now Dave Roberts will have a decision to make with Devers up and a base open. One good thing is sinker baller versus getting a fastball up over the plate. That's where Devers loves it.
Yasmani Grandal, who pinch hit and struck out a moment ago to end the eighth. With runners at the corners, who's doing the catching, so he's out to talk. And with the pinch hitter announced, Devers. A visit from Rick Honeycutt as Alex Wood gets ready quickly. Official caps, t-shirts, hoodies, jerseys, jackets, and more. Find all the Dodgers and Red Sox World Series gear you need at MLBshop.com. So the left-hander's not ready to come into the ball game. Wood just got up. And with the left-hander Devers walking to the plate, we'll see what the Dodgers elect to do. With the pitcher's spot next. And Kinsler coming into the on-deck circle.
Part of the strategy in facing Devers is that you could get him out and then face Kinsler without bringing Mookie Betts to the plate here in the ninth.
Devers takes the ball down. So Devers is batting for Leon. And you can do this if you're Alex Cora because the Red Sox have 3 catchers available. Swihart will have to take over behind the plate. Brock Holt has given the Red Sox opportunity here in the ninth. Jansen out of the game. Dylan Floro on the mound. Here comes a 1-0. 2-0. If they're trying to be careful with Devers, with first base open and the right-hander on deck, it's up to Floro to make sure he's careful because Devers can lose a ball in a hurry. He can hit. ...21 home runs during the regular season for the then 21-year-old Rafael Devers. That's up the middle. The Red Sox are going to take the lead. Holt scores. Boston on top 5-4. Brock Holt got it started, and Rafael Devers comes off the bench and delivers.
How about the pinch hitters tonight for the Red Sox? See the barrel of the bat, or the knob of the bat, and he just goes right up the middle.
That's been their catchphrase, do damage, and Rafael Devers just did big damage. And Boston, after trailing 4-0 after 6, is leading 5-4 here in the ninth, with a chance for more.
Amazing turnaround.
Well, when Devers was announced as the pinch hitter, or at least walking to the plate, Alex Wood, the left-hander, just started to get loose. He wasn't ready to come in. Now he's just standing there as Swihart bats. Their third catcher of the game. Floro stays in and gives up the RBI hit to the left-handed hitting Devers. Ball one from Dylan Floro. A one-out opposite field double by Brock Holt. And he came flying home on the hit by Devers. And now Kimbrel take over in the bottom of the ninth inning, leading by at least one. In the bottom of the ninth. It'll be a pinch hitter. Then Kike Hernandez, then Max Muncy. If anybody gets on, Justin Turner.
Right now, through the Dodgers, you're trying to have a hard time processing all that just happened.
Runner goes, ground ball to the right side. Hernandez gets the out at first, and by starting the runner Devers, they avoid the double play. And that's big. Now a runner at second, 2 out for Mookie Betts.
Walk him. More than likely bring in Wood against Benintendi.
It'll be 2 on with 2 out. And it'll be Alex Wood coming into the game with Benintendi coming to the plate. The Red Sox have come all the way back. 3 in the 7th, 1 in the 8th. 1 in the 9th, and a chance for more. Pitching change in the 9th. Alex Wood is waiting for Yasiel Puig to get back into position. Out in right with 2 on and 2 out. He deals with Andrew Benintendi. Fires a strike. Benintendi tonight 0 for 4. A double by Holt. An RBI single up the middle by Rafael Devers. And the Red Sox lead by 1. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Devers draws a throw. Rich Hill taken out after a strikeout for another left-handed pitcher, Scott Alexander, who issued a walk on 4 pitches to Brock Holt. The bullpen has failed the Dodgers tonight. That's another strike, and it's 0-2. And then Jansen was used in the 8th. He gave up the game-tying home run to Pierce. Not available in the 9th. Dylan Floro, the pitcher of record now for the Dodgers. Here comes an 0-2.
Well, the feeling in this place is similar to the 13th inning. The Dodgers were able to scrape across a run in the 13th inning and eventually win it in the 18th inning. They're going to have to find a way now to scrape a run across Craig Kimbrel.
That's if Alex Wood keeps it a 1-run game. Grandal will go out and visit. This postseason, T-Mobile and MLB have rallied together in support of hurricane recovery, raising over $4.5 million to support veteran-led Team Rubicon. Let's keep it going. T-Mobile will give another $2 for every fan tweet or retweet with hashtag HR4HR. Brock Holt got it going with the double and then came home on the hit up the middle by Devers. And now a chance for more. Two shot over to third, safe, and the bases are loaded. Turner did all he could. Benintendi beat it. And they're going to check to see if they want to challenge that call.
Yeah, the speed of Benintendi, of course, the ball just tripping down the line. Turner had to come in. I don't think he could even think about going back to the bag. So his play was there, and of course he beats it out.
And yet Dave Roberts is walking to the home plate umpire. He's got Kenta Maeda up in the bullpen, and he's going to make yet another pitching change. As Wood had an 0-2 count on Benintendi. And with Steve Pearce coming up, Kenta Maeda is coming in, and Roberts is going to have to use a double switch because the pitcher's spot is due up first in the bottom of the inning, and it's Dozier coming in to take over on the infield. Bases loaded for Boston, leading by 1 in the ninth. Tomorrow, Fox NFL doubleheader, starting with the Redskins and the Giants, then the big showdown here in Los Angeles with the Green Bay Packers and the LA Rams. It's all on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Check local listings. Well, is this game going to stay tight? That's up to Kenta Maeda and Steve Pearce. Bases loaded, 2 out, top of the ninth, 5-4. Red Sox on top. Dozier takes over at second. Kike Hernandez in left. Dozier will lead off in the bottom of the inning, and the pitcher is now batting in the number 7 spot for Los Angeles. That pitcher right now is Maeda. Pearce, who tied this game with a home run off Kenley Jansen in the 8th, strike 1. Into the gap in right center field. This ball is down into the wall. It will empty the bases. Steve Pearce, what a night. 8-4 Boston in the ninth.
Well, in the 8th against Jansen, he has a homer to tie the game, and this right here, best piece of hitting. Doesn't try to do too much. He splits the gap, and right there you can sense. Thought everyone might come out of the dugout for the Red Sox, breaking this game open.
Now an intentional walk to J.D. Martinez to bring Bogarts up, but Steve Pearce, who was getting his second taste of postseason baseball, was with Baltimore back in 2014. They got through the division series, got to the LCS. He had 17 at-bats, 1 hit. And now playing for the team he grew up idolizing, the Boston Red Sox. He's had a massive Game 4. 4 RBIs over his last 2 at-bats. And he and the Red Sox lead by 4. 2 on now, 2 out. Bogaerts takes the ball.
Well, this place has kind of been stunned. This crowd was as loud as it gets after Puig's home run. 4-0 lead. And since then, it has been all Boston.
Manager Dave Roberts will face the questions about his use of the bullpen, taking Rich Hill out in a 1-hitter. Off a strikeout back in the 7th inning. Bogaerts led off with a walk. Nunez struck out. Brock Holt coming up. It was 0 for 1 with a walk against Rich Hill. He came out. Alexander came in, and that's when the trouble got rolling for the Dodgers, and the fun started for Boston.
2 outs, 2 outs, 2 outs.
Said in this series already that 2 strikes don't bother these Red Sox hitters, and 2 outs is when they seem to come to life in RBI chances. They have thrived in this series alone with 2 down. Maeda with a count of 1-2 misses low.
What's amazing about this game, in essence, the Dodgers played 2 perfect games yesterday. Literally 18 innings of unbelievable pitching against this offense. They had a chance to play a 9-inning perfect game where they completely shut them down. And then you look up and they have 8 runs from the 7th inning on. That look and that feeling says it all here, because the probability of that comeback, well, you already talked about what they haven't done. Cross that off the list.
Able to come back for the first time in their World Series history. Down by 4 or more. We'll see if they close it out and win this game. Game 5 is tomorrow night. And a rematch of game number 1 with Chris Sale going against Clayton Kershaw. Sale and Alex Cora will be trying to end it. Kershaw will be trying to send this World Series back to Boston. 16 of the 22 that the Red Sox have scored in this series have come with 2 out. Two now. A full count. Maeda worked 2 innings last night. No runs, 1 hit, struck out 5, made a great defensive play. With 2 on, nobody out, fielded a bunt, got the runner out at 3rd, but he's been brought in here and has given up a 2-out, 3-run double by Steve Pearce. The 9th man to bat in the inning is Xander Bogaerts. That is into left center field, and with the runners going, coming to the plate and scoring easily, the Red Sox add to their lead. That's Pearce. It's 9-4.
And with that, another reliever trying to get up to save an inning out of Craig Kimbrell, who's been waiting to come in for quite some time.
Now Brazier is getting loose. So Kimbrell has taken a seat after this from Bogaerts. His 2nd hit of this series, his 1st hit of the night to score Pearce.
You know Pearce is going to get a good welcoming in his dugout. What a ninth inning. It all started with just put it in play down the line, double by Holt. And continued by an infield hit by Benintendi.
That led to the break it open 3-run double by Pierce after the pitching change. Strike 2. Nothing in 2, the count. Maeda to Nunez in a high fly ball into left center. Back near the track is Bellinger. And it's a 5-run 9th inning for the Boston Red Sox. And it's a 9-4 game as the Red Sox have shaken this place. Joe Kelly with 2 strong innings of relief. Holt started it with a double down the left field line. Rafael Devers put the Red Sox on top, and Steve Pearce may have delivered the knockout blow tonight. 9-4 into the bottom of the ninth. All over the bases tonight in Game 4. And the kid, Rafael Devers, put Boston on top in the top of this 9th inning. Big hit by Pierce, and Kimbrel does indeed take over. They had Brazier getting loose when the game was opened up. But it's Kimbrel. And that's called ball 1 as Swihart is behind the plate, and he missed that pitch from Kimbrel.
Well, the Dodgers really only have one task if they can't rally, and they just got to make Kimbrel work as hard as he can. With tomorrow's game, Casey has asked to work or be needed. But what a empty feeling the Dodgers must have right now with all that's taking place.
Kershaw gets the ball tomorrow for Dave Roberts. Chris Sale gets the baseball for the Red Sox, and we saw Sale trying to pump up his teammates earlier, and they have rallied 9 to this point unanswered runs put up from the 7th inning on. 2-0 now, the count on Dozier. Mitch Moreland with the blast, a 3-run home run off the bench. He's playing in his 3rd World Series. He's 0 for 2 for the Texas Rangers. And Moreland with that shot into right made it a 1-run game. And that's what started the scoring here late for Boston. That's the starter tonight, the 25-year-old left-hander Eduardo Rodriguez. He's off the hook as Dozier takes a leadoff walk. And right now the pitcher of record for Boston is Joe Kelly, who has been so good for Alex Cora.
He's like a different person. I mean, he really has put it together at the absolute perfect time. And Joe Kelly, from a bullpen, fair or not, at the end of the season, there were some questions to how are they going to get it done, winning 108 games. Well, their bullpen has answered a lot. And so has Joe Kelly, Eovaldi.
There's Kike Hernandez, and that's 5 in a row. But a miss from Kimbrel. You've been a closer in the big leagues. You know what it's like to come in a non-save situation, but this has got to be different. I mean, it's the World Series, Game 4, but it's a 5-run game.
Yeah, it's the only thing that gets Kimbrel in trouble is his fastball loses the strike zone command. And then when he can lock it in, he can throw the curveball off of it anytime he wants. But you basically tell yourself, easier said than done, getting it over with in the least amount of pitches is only going to add to your availability for tomorrow.
The 1-1. High fly ball to left. Back at the wall. It is gone. Hernandez makes it a 3-run game. Is that the start of something massive for the Dodgers, or too little, too late? It's 9-6.
Curveball came out of his hand. You could see it came out on the side of his hand. Therefore, it just rolls. And when it rolls like that, you put a swing in the middle part of the plate. And that's what happens.
Well, tonight the Dodgers have used 6 relievers, 7 pitchers total. And each of the 7 pitchers was charged with at least a run. The highest total of different pitchers allowing a run for a team in any game in World Series history. From Hill, who was great, Alexander, Madsen, Jansen, Floro, Wood, Maeda. And now that bases clearing double by Steve Pearce looms large as Muncy takes the ball. One ball, one strike.
Swire's having some trouble back there. Like it's acting like it's a knuckleball.
David Price gets up for the second time tonight. Ground ball right into the shift. Good play by Bogarts to stay down on it, 1 out. Dodgers need 2 base runners to have a chance, and they ask Justin Turner to get on any way he can. Turner's been on base 3 times. His double a key hit in what was a 4-run 6th inning when the Dodgers led 4-0. Strike 1. A 1 pitch. Down and away. That's a strike. It's 1-2. You saw Rich Hill still down there in the dugout. His start tonight will only be a nice memory for him. But in essence, a footnote if the Dodgers fail to rally. 6 1/3, 1 run, 1 hit. And the run charged against him scored when he was out of the game. Still 1-2 on Turner. Kimbrel worked last night. He's into the game tonight. He's thrown 14 pitches. And because of the 2-run home run by Kike Hernandez, the Red Sox have to get David Price up for the second time tonight after working last night. 2 days after his Game 2 start.
Yeah, they just didn't seem to get Brazier enough time to come in and save some of these bullets, which would have been nice if you're the Red Sox, not having to use Kimbrel here in a 5-run game in the ninth.
The 1-2. 2-2. The next to Turner. That's into left. On base for the 4th time tonight is Justin Turner, and the Dodgers don't go quietly. One more base runner, and the tying run will step in. Against Alex Cora's closer.
And you almost think that if that base runner gets on, we might see Price against Bellinger.
Here's Machado. Ball one outside. Machado led off the 8th inning with a single into right center. With 2 out, a hit to left by Taylor. 1st and 3rd for Grandal, a pinch hitter. He struck out. That hits the corner. 1 ball, 1 strike.
What a great at bat by Turner. Battle, 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 and wait for a pitch he can handle. That's the same approach that Machado's got to take right now. Leave the pitches on the corner alone. Hope that you get one in the middle part of the plate where you like it.
For all the good command we saw from Kimbrel, last night was okay. Right now he is struggling.
Had to be used a lot. Got up in the 8th, right? Warming up in the 8th. That's right. Hot in the 8th, hot in the 9th. Now in the game, just trying to close this thing out. Already at 20 pitches.
That is a fair ball. The play to first. What a play for out number 2. That's the kid Devers, who pinch hit for Nunez and somehow got up and fired a strike to get Machado. What a play.
This is unbelievable. I mean, he shows off a pretty good arm. And he comes up firing.
And Machado was out as he steps on the heel of Pierce at first. He's just trying to beat the throw. What a play by Devers, the young third baseman who committed 24 errors during the regular season, the most in the league, and he just made, who knows what that saves. That keeps the tying run from coming to the plate and gets out number 2 here in the 9th. What a play.
That really was. I mean, getting to the ball and then having the kind of patience to know that he could get up and make that throw without hurrying it.
Bellinger takes the ball inside. As Bellinger reaches, Yasiel Puig would step in representing the tying run. 1-0. So this will be a big effort from Kimbrel. At least 24 pitches, back-to-back nights, multiple times up.
Yeah, I think this knocks him out for tomorrow, but I'm sure they'll worry about tomorrow when tomorrow comes.
On after football tomorrow. Big day of sports in downtown Los Angeles. Here comes a 1-1 pitch. That's low. 2 balls and a strike.
That was a great pitch, and probably so good it fooled Bellinger, trying to tell himself to stay off the pitch down that's breaking.
Three balls and a strike. Kimbrel has made it interesting. Runner at second, 2 out, 3-1 pitch. A strike and a full count. The next, spoiled by Cody Bellinger.
That was a nice job there. Just exactly that. Just kind of understanding that this pitch is lower part of the zone, and he gets just a piece of it. Keep the bat alive.
Three-two pitch. Fly ball into shallow left center, should end it. The Red Sox are up 3-1. 9-6 the final. As they score 9 runs from the 7th inning on. A 3-hour, 57-minute game. While the Red Sox celebrate, Dave Roberts heads in to face questions about his usage of the bullpen tonight. And the Dodgers, who led 4-0 after 6, lose 9-6 and now face elimination tomorrow night.
That's how you erase an emotional 18-inning game the night before. You go out, you rally as a team. They rallied around Eovaldi after the game. You can tell their sense of urgency, and man, 9 runs after the 6th.
The reaction from Puig last night after that 18-inning game. Alex Cora had his team in the clubhouse, and he talked to the group about what had just happened. And he saluted the effort of Nathan Eovaldi. And Nathan's teammates gave Eovaldi, after that crushing loss, a standing ovation in the clubhouse of the Red Sox. Alex Cora said it was an emotional moment. And here in game number 4, they come rallying for a 9-6 win. Let's go down to Tom Verducci.
Thanks, Joe. Well, Brock Holt, last night you lost the longest game in World Series history. Tonight you're down 4 with 7 outs to go. I want you to describe what this team did at that point.
Unbelievable. I mean, last night, what a baseball game. To lose that one hurt. That one hurt. And to come out and to kind of start off slow like we did tonight, but finish like we did, it just shows what this team's capable of and why we're at where we're at.
You got it started with that base hit. Describe the approach, especially the swing on that pitch.
It's just 2 strikes. I mean, I faced that guy last night. His ball moved so much. So for me, it's just, try to get a pitch up and try to put a good swing on it. You know, I was fortunate to keep that one fair. I mean, he was sinking it all over the place tonight, but with 2 strikes, just try to put the bat on the ball, and good things sometimes happen, and tonight it did.
You got a chance to win the World Series tomorrow night. What do we now expect from this Red Sox team in Game 5?
Hopefully a lot more of the last 3 innings of tonight. I mean, it's so much fun to be a part of this team, to be, you know, playing for the Boston Red Sox and on this stage. We got a heck of a team, and you know, we're going to come out tomorrow ready to go.
Brock, thanks so much.
Thank you so much, man.
Now to Ken Rosenthal.
Thanks, Tom. Steve, you're known for crushing lefties, and yet your big hits tonight, the home run off Jansen to tie it, the 3-run double off Maeda to break it open, they were off righties you had never faced. What will you remember about those at-bats?
You know, it was just a great night, you know, all the way around. You know, it was a great team win, much needed win, especially, you know, after what happened yesterday. You know, I just love this team's fight, and, you know, that's probably what I'm going to take away from tonight.
What was the feeling in the dugout down 4-0?
Well, you know, we were, you know, it was a big blow, but, you know, everybody was pulling for each other, trying to get each other riled up, and, you know, this team has a lot of fight, and, man, it was great to see how we responded. You know, our offense went silent for about 20-plus innings, so, you know, our pitchers did a great job, and just a great team win, man.
Your father's from Rehoboth, Massachusetts. You've said many times you were brainwashed into being a Red Sox fan, and now you're 1 win away from winning the World Series with Boston. How do you think your family's reacting tonight?
It's a dream come true. You know, they're happy. You know, it's just a cool feeling that, you know, I get to do something very special like this right now, and you know, but it's not over. We still got 1 more left, and you know, we got to flush tonight and go get them tomorrow.
Steve, congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Joe, back to you.
What a big night for Steve Pearce, the 35-year-old, well-traveled big leaguer. Here's that play by Rafael Devers in the bottom of the 9th inning for the 2nd out on the ball hit by Machado. And how about Steve Pearce, who grew up hearing about Yaz from his father and grew up rooting for David Ortiz and Big Papi, and joining a list with those two to become the 3rd Red Sox player with a home run and 4 or more RBIs in a World Series game. And Alex Cora, the rookie manager, has his Boston team 1 win away from the franchise's 9th World Championship.
It's been amazing. You got to have strong stomachs for this fan base on either side with the way this game's been played.
After that long night last night, in an 18-inning affair, we played just 9 tonight. But the Boston Red Sox had the fun late. 3 in the 7th, 1 in the 8th, 5 in the 9th, and they win it 9-6. Our studio group coming up with Kevin, Alex, Papi, and Hurt after this.